Please stop that. I'm trying to concentrate.
Oh, is that what you're doing? I thought you were practicing your resting face.
Excuse me, my face?
It's interesting because for people with more of an avoidant attachment style, it's often much easier to show affection through insults and being mean. It's less of a risk because it's less direct. The person doesn't take it well or doesn't receive the insult as it is intended, kind of tongue in cheek, and throw it back, then they can just leave it like they weren't trying to get emotionally closer. And so this is one of the strange ways that people that are avoidant try to get close to people.
You're heading home. Figured you'd look happier.
This isn't a homecoming. This is a suicide mission to topple the necromantic murderers of my family.
Vex actually cares what Percy thinks, and Vex doesn't seem to really care what anyone thinks, not enough to stare at them and directly ask this question. But because Percy's also closed off, she doesn't really get how he works, and she's trying to figure him out, which makes him interesting to her.
For the record, I have a magnificent face.
Do you now?
Yes, I do. Lots of practice.
And you see, Percy reacted perfectly. Percy took this in a self-deprecating way, that he's actually really good at this. And you hear that chuckle as she kind of leans back, that comfort, this moment, this inside joke that they both shared. They're becoming closer with one another.
If you turn that thing on any of us again, I will not hesitate. I will kill you.
Percy, holding that weapon, it's like you're a different person. What is it?
It's interesting the difference between the way that Vex and Vax interact with Percy. Vax went at it very, very directly, really, really strong, threatened him, kind of put Percy's back against the wall. And for someone avoidant, that's actually going to make them more ardent, more upset, more withdrawn. Vax immediately understands that, and you can tell, even though she usually comes off with an abrasive, direct manner, she softens her tone when she's interacting with Percy because she's also avoidant. She understands that that's the first way that Percy's going to withdraw. And right away you see Percy's eyebrows react. This touched him. She wasn't strong-arming him. She wasn't forcing him, and she wasn't threatening. She came at it from a place of kindness, of serious care.
When we came here, darling, you promised no more lies. You owe us the truth.
You're right.
Her words, they're sweet. She calls him darling, which I haven't seen it, but I don't think that she calls anyone else darling. It's that little special moment between both of them. She talks to him from a place of his heart, that we care about you. And for someone that's avoidant, that's their fear. Their fear is that they're going to be abandoned again, or that they're not good enough. And that fear of rejection and that fear of failure, especially after they've made a mistake, it's so threatening, so scary, that they often just withdraw. They want to stay in the cave, be alone, because it's too painful to cause harm to those that they care about. And so what she's doing by having these soft words, that soft tone, no matter what, you're safe with us. I'm not going to abandon you. And the funny thing is the person that he pointed the gun at was her brother, this person that she cares so much about. But she doesn't let her emotions get the best of her. She still wants to make sure she's able to say things and package them in a way that Percy can hear them.
Thinking about your sister?
Is it that obvious?
She was 13 when you last saw her, right?
Always got me in trouble.
She sounds like Scanlan.
So again, here she is wanting to know what Percy's thinking. She wants to get to know him on a deeper level, and she gives him that soft touch. They also share these moments where they chuckle and laugh together, which is really strong sign when people become closer together, and they're sharing these moments that even though everyone else is around, no one else is privy to.
I hope she's okay.
Scanlan, too.
They're both sharing this worry. She's saying that I understand some of what you're going through. For Percy, someone that feels like they're always alone, that no one really gets them, that goes a long way. But when someone cares enough to be able to take the time to listen and hear how they're feeling, that makes people feel safe and validated. And I think that Vex does a really good job. Even the tone that she uses always with Percy, it's softer than she usually speaks with the rest of the group.
darling. Don't let that sex-crazed gnome do this solo.
You?
Never listen to me again.
Now, it's a kind of interesting thing in group dynamics that you can often see who's most aligned or cared about by who they look at to reply. That's us wanting that person's interaction. And so where their eyes are gazing, if they make a noise, that little tiny look, that often shows the person that we're closest to. And in this case, even though she's closest to her brother, she's looking towards Percy, though it was Vex who replied to her. Again, darling, which she seems to use as her pet name for Percy, which I love. I think it's quite a nice term of endearment. It's so interesting that for Vex, she was worried that Vax was becoming enthralled with Keyleth. And maybe even this is just her own projection, but I think unconsciously she's the one that's actually being enthralled by Percy.
Percy, snap the f*** out of it!
What's the point? She's gone again.
Maybe, but the people in this room, we're not.
You should never strike someone, even if they're dazed out or going through an anxiety reaction. But what I do like about the way that Vex is handling this is that when he said, I may never see her again, she doesn't deny it. She doesn't go through and say something with rose-colored glasses that everything's going to be okay, we just have to believe. Someone that's gone through a lot of trauma and difficulty in life, they can sniff out sentences and belief statements that are completely false, and right away that makes them wall back up their defenses because they can't trust what you're saying. But she says it like it is. Maybe.
We will never abandon you.
Percy's fear is that everyone will leave him because Percy feels like if anyone knew all of the darkness that was within him, that no one could truly love him, that he's to blame for all of the horrors that have happened to his family. And I think that that's part of the darkness that's within him. One of the reasons why Orthax had such an easy time to reside within Percy.
You want your sister back, and I want my brother. But if we're to have a chance of saving them, you have to save us first!
Her words were beautiful. They carried so much weight because they were true. That we're a team, we're a family, and you have to work towards being able to take care of us because if we are not there, then no one can save the people that we love. And Percy was able to hear it because it was honest, because it was direct, and inspirational at the same time. And that allowed him to get the strength to be able to stand back up.
Vexalia, what are you doing?
I know you're in there. Darling, take off the mask.
It's amazing to see Vex's strength. Everyone else is scared of Orthax and with Percy wearing the mask, but she's not. She's gotten close to him and he's worth taking this risk. She's seen deeper into Percy. She cares about who he is as a person. So she shows no fear as she walks up. She does what no one else would, to be able to take off the mask. I think that that's a really great metaphor for real intimacy. It's when we're able to lower that mask that we hide behind and show someone all of those vulnerable, horrible, icky parts of ourselves, the parts that we think that we'll be judged for, the parts that we might see as weak. And Vex doesn't show revulsion or shock at seeing Percy being scared and crying underneath it.
You can put it down.
It won't let me.
Don't do it!
When someone's really upset and anxious, if you have really strong words or you're really aggressive, it can make someone feel worse. You're adding more adrenaline to the mix because you're adding more threat. But instead, she's talking softly. She's with him. This is not her against him. This is them being together. She also accepted and validated that as well. She didn't show pity, which would have crushed Percy, and she didn't show shock or horror. She just accepted him exactly as he is. And isn't that what all of us really want? To be able to show all of our vulnerability, our weakness, our darkness to someone else, and to have them completely accept it. All of the things that we don't even accept about ourselves. For Vex, she understands this because she's the same attachment type as Percy. And so because of that, these are her fears also. And I think that that's why she's so good at soothing and validating him.
Wait! Please, Percy! Don't forfeit your own soul!
Won't let Yeah!
A lot of times when we're really upset or angry or furious at someone, there's that one person that's able to reach us, that we'll do things for that we wouldn't do for anyone else. And it's funny because when Orthax states you know who to trust, he says yes, and he chooses Vex. Sorry. Emotional again. Watching the way that they interact, there's so much chemistry. They're my favorite relationship on the show. Well, Grog and Pike also, it's a toss-up. And while watching my videos is a great way to get familiar with the basics of psychology, if you want to gain an understanding of the basics of computer science, physics, quantum mechanics, game theory, and everything you need to be prepared for the best you, check out today's sponsor, Brilliant. Brilliant is the online interactive STEM learning platform with a growing catalog of courses specifically crafted to help you learn concepts by working through them yourself in visual, hands-on ways. And with all the lessons, they're presented in bite-sized chunks so you can learn at your own pace. No pressure, and if you ever feel stuck, Brilliant has in-depth explanations that help break down the material even more. Like their algorithm neural network and machine learning courses, they'll let you shift blocks of pseudocode around and you receive immediate feedback, and that means you get results. It's like you're solving puzzles and playing games, and the whole time you're learning how artificial intelligence really works. To get started for free, visit brilliant.org/Georgia Dow or click on the link in the description. The first 200 people get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription, so just click on the button on the screen or go to brilliant.org/Georgia Dow. Clicking on that button really does help out this channel, and so does clicking on the playlist above for more videos. Let me know, what are your favorite Percy and Vex moments, and did I miss something that you caught? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.